use hello. Hawaiians use aloha, they say. And some of the others use, the African people use hello too, but in a different way,
Dialect.
And so we use it too, hello, but we use it in the white way. Yeah. Yeah, so you have any, you have any, what I was telling you about the language, and if you got a language, then you got a race. If you're not an animal, with no, if you're human, you speak a language, then that is your racial language. And our people don't realize that, that I think there's some, after they get a little older and discuss things, they think about that too. We do have a race. We don't look like the white people. We certainly don't act like them. We do to some degree because that's civilization, so we just accept that way. Yeah. But it wouldn't be nice if I'd like to walk around like in town and sit in a restaurant with my friends and be talk Indian. Those guys would say, what the hell are they talking about? It's like if a Chinese come in and sit here among when they were talking together, we'd be wondering what they're talking about, what language they're using, But they know their language, they know their race, they're proud of their race, so they talk it.
A friend of mine works at Indian Health. He said he wanted to go to Europe and see, all the Europeans.
Yeah.
I says, go to Safeway.
Yeah.
They're all here.
They're all there.
Here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
all the Europeans
the
are
thing,
going over that.
yeah. The thing that's hard about this language is we don't have an alphabet, so we try to talk Indian, say Indian words in the same, I don't know what the educated word is for that, you're thinking in your mind, you're trying to think, and how can you say that in Indian, that word they're saying, and we can't put that together, and so we think in white, in English language. We think in it. You sitting there, you're thinking in English language, the ABCs. So am I. We're talking in that language, because we don't have an alphabet. Some of the big tribes, I think back east, eastern tribes, they developed an alphabet. For like I was saying here one day, we use a lot of in our language. We have nothing to use for that word, so we use X. I just use an X for the like we call water cha, and we call spider ka. See, that's a difference in the cha and ka. Can you hear the difference?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you see there. And it would be a simple thing, but we'd have to get it down to make a little mark for, and if you're using the English alphabet, you can't say the Indian word proper, the Indian term, sound. And a lot of us now, since there's a lot of Mexicans here now, and we're mixing up pretty bad. Our race down there, where I come from, about half of them are all Mexican names now. Newborns, new people born different. And we're ruining our race. There are some races that don't allow that, to marry out of your race, because it lowers you. Because a lot of them are maybe 2-3 different races, and you have to adopt one of them. So it'd be pretty hard unless we talk it at home. We could teach it, and we got to know it well enough to teach our children if we want them to know it. And if we don't talk it, they're not going to learn it. But in another way, it's good though if you know words. Like if you write things down, you like words and what you'll know that much. You know how I could explain to someone. You know what it really means, and that kind of thing. But that's where the trick is at. Like a lot of our Indian women down there, they don't talk English now. They talk Mexican. You know, they listen to the Mexicans won't give up their language. You know, they talk it all the time to each other. They won't try to learn anything else. So they talk. There's one family now. You think they're a Mexican family now. You know, the kids know the Mexican language. They talk it and everything. So what they're doing, they're crossing their race. But yet we're Americans and we don't have a language.
I noticed down in Espanol, they have different dialects. We have American slang,
Yeah.
and they have like one side talks to the other side and you can barely understand each other, even though it's the same language.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the British and American language.
Yeah.
The same language, but they're separated by that language.
Yeah.
They have a southern drawl,
Yeah.
and you know, people don't realize that.
They do.
That's why they have a hard time talking to each other sometimes.
Well, like down there, you take down there in Bayou country, there's you all, youans, and like that. That's their language. That's where they talk.
Oh, you get
Youans, like I
country,
said,
it's
you
French.
guys, I say youans.
You got French.
Yeah, or you all, you know. Yeah. Here's some hard food.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I get stuck on what we ought to discuss. You know, so maybe we ought to discuss a subject that we can catch on and don't work on it too much, but that way you could consider it when after you go home too and talk with your children or some that what you know it well what we were talking about. Then the next class we have, we pick that up again and go further like that. So I wondered what would be good. What would be a good subject now? Anybody wants to bring out a subject that maybe we can discuss? I thought about clothes.
Clothes, foods, or something like that.
Let's talk. And don't do too much or nothing else. Just that. And I was telling them about that. What this guy told them was teaching them Indian language. Someplace he's supposed to know his language. We're teaching them about camisa, pantalon, and zapato, calcita, and tineco. And just, and when I looked at that, I said, the heck, half of this is Mexican language. I said, well, that guy said that's the language, that was Indian language, that's what they talk in his place, his house, I said, no, those are all wrong languages. And we don't know the Indian word for some of that. Like this, when they ask me, like pants, I would say, shago kaududik. That means putting your legs in a cover, That's what the word literally means. And we don't have a word for shoes. What I tried to get them to use is use what we call chunk. That's what we call moccasins. See, now you fellas don't know that we had a word for that. Everybody used moccasin. We used our word for that, footwear, that literally means footwear, chump.
Chump.
Yeah, you would spell it CHUMPK, chump. Now that means that's what we should call, rather than call it zapato, we should call it chump, if we're trying to talk Indian. And then, and shirt, in Indian, the shirt, I wouldn't call it, I'd give it a name like what would I call it, like a shirt, body cover. Like I said, pantalon, for pants, pantalon. I said, shago chunk, that means leg wear. It literally means leg wear. Yeah. And
How would you spell that?
she's right about that. We was wondering how we spell it. We got no time. So we have to, that's another thing why I said about blackboard, write it, what we're going to substitute, like for that I use, we should have a little mark on the extras, make that sound, but use the X and put a little thing on it there some way and make it where you don't try to say make that sound with the X then, or K.
What happened to your board, Bannon? He's going like
Now I would call a shirt. This is new. I've never done this. Never done this to take it away from commissar. We want to use that rather than you talk in Indian. You're talking what you call shirt. You say, well, we call it commissar. That's all it was. That's not an Indian word. Mm-hmm. You see, that's what I mean. We have to use it because we never adopted the word for shirt.
I have no shirt.
Yeah, you see, well, they wore a cover, like that. Now, body is upper body on human. We call it Shiba.
Shiba?
Yeah, this is Shiba.
Upper body.
Now, here we could again say Shiba chunk. Like Sapatu, Hama chunk. Not Kaududik.
Body?
Yeah, body. Kaudik. Yeah, we would say Shiba Gaudik. We call it some way like that, But think about that. This won't be what we're not, but it'll be one of the problems.
Shiba
Shiba
was
it's not chip.
Shiba Gauted was what?
Yeah.
Upper body.
What's the upper body
Shirt.
called?
Shiba.
What's the upper body called?
Shiba.
Shiba.
Yeah, SCHEBAH. I would spell it. Now
The torso?
you could, yeah,
What's
that's
that
your
board,
body,
man?
your
Sitting
whole
over
body.
Spanish boards.
Oh, that's what
Sitting down.
is upper body. Oh yeah, Shiba deconk.
Decomp.
Deconk. Yeah, that means you cover your body cover, like shirt. Yeah, you would know that's what we was describing the commissar for. Yeah. And some we don't have words for some things. Like we do have to refer to that Spanish word like socks, because we don't have a word for it. But maybe one day we would. That's an inner thing. We could use the white word for it as far as that goes. Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, what about foot? Arm. Can we do the arm? Foot. How do you say foot?
Oh yeah. Foot is Hama. That's what goes that. Hama. You can put X and put a mark on it for yourself if you want. So you know it's not you're making the X sound like ha. And I use that word water for describing that sound ha. It comes way up here someplace. Ha. Hama.
What's that supposed to mean? Oh, torso is what?
And I thought about using to a lot of times, maybe K would be a good idea to adopt for that. Kama, we would call it, rather than say Kama. But it takes a real Indian
This is
juice out of
foot.
it, you know.
Foot. Oh, yeah. I know that one. Okay.
Okay, how about arm?
Oh,
Arm.
chua.
Chua.
Yeah. Now there's the word to get chu. Wa. Cho. No, I would say Cho. T-C-A-N, yeah, T. No, just say C-H-U. W-A-A. Put double A on that. C-H-W-A-A. U-A maybe.
You a? You are.
Rather than
For arm?
first A,
Chihuahua.
yeah.
Some of their words are a little different than ours up here too.
Well, what you call these?
Fingers?
Fingers?
She forgot already. She do it too, I do.
Huh?
Biha. It's the whole hand. Biha.
Oh, the children of the hand.
You said Biha.
Yeah.
H-B, yeah.
They say it a few times before, I can't remember.
But once you learn to talk, you speak it, you almost have to understand the topic or what they call it, the subject matter. Then you could say it, when you're saying, then you're using the subject
Hand.
to help you guide you.
Hand.
What is it?
Bia.
How do you
Yeah.
say hand? Hand.
That's why I said be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And fingers.
Let me try that. How we doing? That's what I said.
Why? B-Y?
B-E.
W-B-E-Y-A-H.
I'm strong. I know.
That ain't right. That don't look good to me. That.
This thing ain't on today.
I know.
Is it?
Well, we could try to
Just mark it
turn
on.
on, yeah.
Never left them.
Put a fan on. Do you have
Yeah.
a fan?
Fan.
Turn on low.
Never last
We
time.
can't hear it.
Like that, if you look at it. There's B-E-H-Y-A.
Yeah.
Not working. Maybe you can find a fan.
Y-A.
You got that?
Chihuahua.
Now, last week I told you guys
Yeah.
about these,
I wasn't here.
Fingers.
Fingers.
I
The
did.
children of the hand.
You heard all
Can't
of it.
remember.
What do we call it?
The children of the hand.
Yeah,
What do
you
you
don't
call
say
it?
the children what they had.
Pomo
That's the-
language.
Yeah, these are the children, hand children,
So the hand
children,
children.
it's the kids of the hand. You could call it kids if you want to, but that's what we call it. We hear Kawik. Kawik is kids. We hear Kawik. See, that's what again.
Fingers. Golly.
Yeah,
Bia.
yeah. And do the same way with your toes. It's Kawik too. That's good.
And then you would say,
Yeah.
how would you say it?
Kama.
Kama.
Hama.
F-A-A. That's how but we drag out there. Now, some of the ask me what they call the toenails.
Toes.
Oh no. How about your face? Face.
Uyimo.
Uimo.
Yeah.
Uimo.
I don't know how you spell it.
Face. Uimo. Ui. Ui. Mo. Uimo.
Oh, me.
What did she say?
Uimo.
Uyimo, yeah, yeah. You stop with a sudden O. Yeah, put a period there when you stop suddenly. Uyimo. 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 Well, somebody ain't gonna ask you about those toenails?
No. We don't need to know about toenails.
Rick. R-I-K, you know that?
Mama, what?
Rick.
Rick.
R-I-C.
R-I-C.
Rick. Yeah, Rick, your fingernails.
Fingernails.
And your toenails are Rick. That's what the Rick. Yeah. is the, how you spell it, R-I-C-H.
Oh, Rick, oh, Wisdom
Area.
R, comma,
Rick.
living room.
And
Like
Rick
the-
is
Yeah.
toenails, toes, toenails? Okay. Thank you. And what was toes?
Yeah.
What was toes? How'd you say toes?
Well, yeah, Hamaric. Hamaric. There's two words, Hama and Rick. That's what you call it. Yeah. Or toes. Yeah. Oh, Hama, Hawick. I was getting it wrong. It's Hama, Hawick. The foot kids. Foot
The children of the foot. Big family.
How do you say hair? How do you say hair? Hair.
Yeah. This
There.
is Musu.
So,
Musu. M-U-S-S-O. Or M-O-S-S-O. One of those. Spell it the way you want to, because Gary can go back. We got the alphabet. So you spell it this way, you know, maybe we can get together on that. Those things. Musu.
that's not right.
With the M, yeah.
I know what it is.
There's no kids up there. The kids up there we call Gee.
Key.
Gee, yeah. The kids up there, we don't call them Hawick, we call them Gee. G-double-E.
For what?
Yeah.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
You remember that?
That's a good Indian name, that's Santia.
Yeah.
That's water, Mexican stuff. I guess that's an Indian word. They never had melons over there in Europe. Like beans they didn't have over there. I read one place where about 75% of the food stuff we use over there came from America. When they discovered America, then they
This what?
discovered the gold mine. Even the names of foods and things, they never had over there. And we accepted, that it came from over there. And it was actually from here.
How about ear? Ear.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one too. This here, Shema. S-C-H-I-M-A-H. Somebody feel so. Shema. Yeah. Open your Shema.
Sound like Seymour, and Seymour is sweet. What are some of the words you had last week? What are some of the words you had last week?
I didn't bring that thing.
Don't let him quiz us.
Well, yeah, we'll go with it. Shema. And you call this here Shema Mo. Mo.
Moho.
M-O-H. You make that kind of an H ended with an H sound. Mo. Shema Mo.
That's right.
This one we call it.
What
You never asked me that.
that is? How you say that is?
La. Mo. Mo.
La.
L-A-B-O-B-O.
You know how to say it in English. Now see, that's for a naughty word.
You say mo.
Nose, what
Word
now?
for nose. Oh, yeah.
That's stuff that comes out of there. That's called list.
List.
L-E-S-S. Like that.
L-E-S-S.
It's not what it is.
I
How you spell all?
It's not.
Less is like
Or
snot boogers.
you say in Spanish is
Less.
Focus.
Less is like snot boogers. Less.
Oh,
You haven't heard that one.
Hasida. X-A hyphen T-C-H D
See, big word for mouth.
Hasida.
See that?
Yeah, Hasida. Hasida.
Hey, what's that supposed to mean?
Mouth.
No.
Hot see that.
That's almost like birds.
It's a big word for mouth.
Well, nose is whoa.
Oh, it's mouth?
That was no. And this.
Big R's is pronounced.
Yeah. Hot seed.
I put H-A-Z.
Yeah, pretty long
That's how I
word.
spelled it, so I could understand mouth.
What is
H-A-T-C-H-I-D-A.
golly?
Huh?
Remember my dad used to say like golly. Boy. Boy? Hear that?
What's that?
Golly is boy.
Gawi.
Golly.
And these
Little boy.
These are teeth.
here,
Gawi is
How you say that? Teeth. Teeth?
T-E-E-T-H.
Gawi.
Oh, you mean the,
Language. Pomo language. How you say teeth?
so I said it,
Teeth?
no, not
Oh.
teeth, I said, yeah, oh,
Yeah. Oh.
There's what?
R-A-O-H.
What is what?
You
Yeah.
gonna sing? You gonna sing to our kids?
Yeah. They got,
Joy has to do something.
they got two
Joy
classes going on too. He's gonna teach them how to
Well,
sing.
goodbye.
Okay.
What was What is that? Teeth?
Teeth.
Teeth.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, oh.
Yeah.
To me, that would mean tooth. Seem like.
Now, one more word next to feeding.
Eating. Eat.
This was tough one too. Again, it goes like, wow. H-A-W-A-L. Wow.
Oh wow.
And if you put law, L-A on there, it's
Oh, he
eating.
already did it and left.
L-A with it, that's for ink.
Say it down here.
What did you just say? What did you just say?
Kawali.
Is long.
They put
It's like the
that's for
like the
ink.
English word for ing.
Kawala. Kawala.
Like the English word
L-A,
ing.
that's for ink. Kawala.
Yeah, so they would use law all the time for ing.
Koala bear.
Yeah. L.A.
Okay.
Sorry?
What's that? Do that. There you go.
Maybe that would have been a U, G-U. Did you use an A or a U?
I used
L.A.
LA.
I said L.A.
Oh, I could have brought my drum and played. You didn't tell me today was drum making day.
What you call it? Foot toes.
Foot toes. The foot. How you say that?
Sekarang kerja.
Pomo.
Awik.
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 These are being here. Awik.
What?
And these are Rick.
Nails.
Nails. Nails is Rick's nails.
What was that
When you
other
do
word
this,
that didn't sound right?
that's do geesh.
Sounded like
That was your
that
point,
word.
yeah, what? Do geesh.
Cheese.
I don't know how you spell that.
Do cheese.
Chest.
Do cheese.
Which was the hand, yeah.
There you go. Pain in your
Oh,
chest.
it doesn't matter, I can't think of that.
That's not
I
the
have
word.
a
trees. Do trees.
I will call it.
It's do trees. It's point.
Okay, I have that.
Do trees. I think it's do trees. Get that. I'm trying to get that. Get that.
You gotta push your
Yeah,
tongue
yeah.
against your
Yeah,
teeth.
No, don't.
Yeah.
See, spit.
Is that He said,
Do
like
it.
this,
H. That's just with the for what? Yeah,
Do C. It's point.
yeah.
What's
Yeah,
that?
That's the chest.
okay.
Chest.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Y-A-A-H.
I put
E-H or so. Yeah. Anyway. It's kind of like
Right.
I don't know why.
yeah.
E-H. Y-H. That's
But these things right here is called C-do.
Oh yeah, breast.
CDs? Not.
Breast. That's breast.
C-do.
Yeah, breast.
That's breast. C-do.
C-do.
Breast. Now, and
Yeah.
C-do.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
put the chest,
Can't read my writing.
C-do.
I was like, what did I write? It was like bread.
People be going, what's
Oh, we
that?
saved bread.
Oh, look at
Here,
mine.
pocket.
Mine's good. It's kind of like a word.
you get that?
What is that? Yeah.
C-do. Yeah, that's your breast.
Put that out there.
This here?
Yeah, put that word.
What he say?
Chest. I mean breast.
Eyes? No.
Breast.
Ooey.
Cool.
So, like ooey, ooey, ooey.
Like, almost like ooey.
That was my nickname. I hated that. That was called me that.
Ooey.
That's like Woody.
Ooey.
You didn't like that?
I don't know why. I just
And they made words for things too. For instance, a ring. When you wore some kind of rings you wore on the finger.
On your neck.
whatever.
You're not kidding.
You're not
Call it
kill.
you're not kidding.
Not kill.
Not kidding. Yeah.
Not kill. Not killing.
You're not kidding.
Ring. You spell that the way you want to go.
Henna? Not
Ring.
kidding.
Not kill.
What are you doing now?
Ring.
Oh, how?
Not
Not
kill.
kidding. Not
Then
No,
they
like
say,
that.
no.
Kill. Kills ring.
We ought to be Chinese food sometimes. You know?
How I spell it.
How would you spell ooey? See, that's why you need ooey.
Ooey.
Not ooey. The whole eye. Ooey.
Like ooh, ee,
What?
Ooey.
ooey.
I think you have to start that with a.
What's ooey?
Eyes.
We said ooey.
you have
But
to
they
start
stretch
that with
their
a ooey.
words long, sometimes longer than us, and sometimes they get to their words in mission.
You said mine, is it? Something like that, you want to hear mine.
Just leave that.
Let's say ooh.
They say the upper
You learn
language speaks clean English without the
Eye. Oh,
all of that
Yeah,
compared to
ooey.
mission.
Yeah, ooey.
They say
If you
they.
say two, kocha ooey.
That's what.
Koch,
They
yeah,
all put
kocha.
Uncle Bob in the
It means both eyes.
What? Which?
Kocha.
Cocha.
What's that?
Cocha.
That's two eyes.
What is
Two
it?
eyes.
2 eyes?
Two eyes.
Two eyes.
Kocha, kocha ooey.
Both eyes.
Yeah, both eyes.
Both eyes.
Kocha. Kocha.
One more thing about the hair that we will
Cha.
we'll talk about something really hard. We say too many things now, it'll be too hard to remember.
Kocha. Both eyes.
But what else was I say?
Ooey.
it's called
Lashes.
Uichime.
Eyelashes.
Chime. Uichime.
Meh. Eyelashes.
Yeah.
Uichime. Chime.
Me. Me. Uchime.
And this one is called, this is called Uikuli.
Uikuli.
Uikuli. Your eyebrow.
L-A-S-H.
Eyeball.
That's your eyebrow, yeah.
Oh, eyebrow. How you say it?
Kui. You can start that with a K if you want. With a Q rather. Kui.
Eyebrow.
I was trying to think of who. And I was wrecking my brain for myself about 20 minutes.
That was
Now
worked out
that,
better.
Okay, what page?
I think that's enough on that.
Okay.
I'm going to mention some things about some of these names we have on things like Konaktai, you know, stuff like that. I mean, what we call Konaktai
Hey, where's
is an
TK?
Indian name, and it means the way you say it properly. That's not in our language. That's in the other. That came from the southeastern Pomo.
Southeastern.
That means Konaktai. The way you say it in their language, Konokti. Yeah. And what the English got a hold of that word, and when they spell it, and you pronounce it Konoktai. But there's two words there. Konokti, as you say it in Indian, that's in southeastern Pomo. We call it sometimes Danoti. That means big mouth. But the most common word was Sedano. Sedano, but that meant brushy
That's
mouth.
just, yeah.
Bushy mouth. Set. Set donati is like bushy mouth.
Brush your mouth.
Bushy mountain.
Oh. It means hill to me, like a noble.
Set donati.
They'll say donut.
Donati.
They say it in English and they miss words on it. For instance, there's one word, chemise. You know the brush?
Oh yeah, chemise brush.
That's an Indian word. They never had that either in English. Chemise, this brush, you know, the little, see all of them on?
They can't hear you very well, so go this way.
All right. Yeah.
We don't
Okay.
mind hearing it twice.
They call it, they spell it in English Chimes, or chemise, but they pronounce it chemise. But they think that's English words. I'll tell you from that, I'll explain this first. But that, we say chemise.
Chemise.
Yeah, and so they spelled that Indian word for that brush, but they pronounce it in English and spell it different. But that's actually a Pomo word of that brush. Chemise. That's what we call it.
Chemise. Chemise.
That's a lot of words like that get all balled up because they never had no words for it.
So Brush Mountain,
Pardon?
Brush Mountain, or
Brush Mountain.
Brush Mountain?
I thought it was
Very
bushy mouth.
poetic. Very
Brush.
poetic.
Bush. Bush mouth.
It is poetic. Bush Mountain.
No, that's actually a word. We called it that. Chimit is brush in Pomo. We call it chimise. That means brushy. It means brushy. So we call it brushy mouth in the eastern Pomo.
Chemise.
But it's adopted the southeastern Pomo word Konuktai.
Brushy. Brushy.
Thank you.
I'm not going to talk about that. There's too many little things here we said. to try to remember unless you brush up on it yourself. So maybe I'm going to write some of that down when next week I'll ask about, a little bit about it. One of the things they show you that they took a lot of Indian words was there was a fish in this lake. We call it shapal. Yeah, but they aren't there no more. They may be. I've never seen one in years. They used to be like a steelhead. They get about that long. Then the white man, when he saw that, he had no name for it either. So he called it the Indian name. He called it chapal, P-A-U-L. So they started calling it chapal, and we did chapal fishing. And they came up. They were big. They were like a steelhead. The only thing they didn't have teeth. They looked like a steelhead even. And they were nice looking fish. They didn't have teeth, and then they had a little, they had a little thing like, they didn't have a trout fin.
There's no more of those.
The fin on the trout, or salmon.
Yeah.
They didn't have it. And so they called it chapal. And since we got on that case, this might be good for you to know, and because of your side of the fence, to discuss it if it's ever discussed. I've told some people our lake is dying, and they did not. I've been saying that now for quite some time, maybe a year. I mentioned the lake is dying, and they asked me what I meant. When they planted the largemouth bass in there about 5 or 6 years ago, that's non-native, the largemouth bass, and they survive like cannibals. They eat other fish. So now there are no more hitch. You can't. I haven't seen a hitch for years. That largemouth bass is eating up all of that stuff. They're eating up the clams. There's no more clams. They're eating up the frogs. I don't know how many of you, maybe you heard it, but there used to be frogs long, all night long, and early in the mornings. They called them French frogs because they ate them. I mean, the humans ate them. They ate the legs. They were big frogs. There's no more of those. They were non-native anyway, but yet I used to like to hear them all night long honking. You hear all, but they're big ones. They were big. There's no more of those. And the crawdads, that's a non-native too. But about 5 or 10 years ago or longer, the fishermen brought them up for bait. They used it for bait and got loose. And they start breeding on the lake. They like to, you would call them crawfish. You guys know what that is, crawfish. And they call them crawdads and everything. There's no more of those. The bass ate those up. Now they ate the clams up. Now there's no more turtles. There used to be turtles. You may see one, but it's an accident. He come down. There used to be little turtles, around the lake, little guys. And they get pretty good size. We ate those. And there's no more of those. The bass is eating them up. And snakes, they were little garter snakes in the lake. You used to see little kind of a blue, black, little about big as your finger. Maybe get about that long. We call them water snakes. They lived around their life. They ate them up. There's no more of those. Those little snakes. There's a lot of stuff that they've done away with, and that fish. Oh yeah, there's no more Indian fish. That's what we call blackfish. We ate. That was one of our really top fish next to the hitch. There's no more of those. They eat them. Where they eat them is when they're hatching. They go up this. They hatch up the creeks, go up hatching. There's fishing, and then pretty soon the little fish come down. They little hatch, We call them Thul, Thul. We used to eat them, catch them by the thousand. And there's no more of those because the bass is eating up those little fish. And where this is obvious is all what they call the like seagulls and the big, what do we call it, big birds?
Pelicans?
Pelicans. The pelicans are disappearing. The seagulls have disappeared. The grebes are disappearing. These are birds that they call them shorebirds. They depend on fish. You know, they eat the little bit. But the largemouth bass are starving them, so they don't come no more anymore. You don't see seagulls anymore. They used to be around the shore line. You don't see the pelicans. Once in a while, they make a big issue out of it when 4 or 5 of them maybe come looking around for food. But they used to come in by the hundreds, you know, huge birds. And kingfishers are disappearing. I haven't seen a kingfisher for years. And another kind of fish-eating birds. They eat the little fish, you know. So that's the reason why I say they're killing the lake. There won't be nothing there but humongous bass one day. Because they eat each other when you're running out of fish. They eat their young.
Animals.
And there's no way I tell that to people. We can't do nothing about it. But the non-Indian communities that believe in money, they say, well, the bass are bringing up the fishermen, so we get them. I said, they never put nothing in my pocket, you know. And I take that attitude. But they are killing the lake, and they don't want this guy, Terry Knight, he writes for the Record B, you know, on them fishing. And he didn't, I tried to get to talk to him. I wanted to discuss this with him. He won't talk with me. I went up to the sporting goods store and, well, we'll get him to talk to you. He still will not talk. I leave him my phone number and the subject. He doesn't want to talk about that. Because that's how he makes his money, writing, putting these pretty pictures up in the newspaper, you know, so the fishermen keep coming up. And that's killing the lake. And, that's not all. It's the algae problem we're having. When I was a youngster, we used to go hunting. I hunted a lot, deer, you know, and rabbits and stuff. There used to be a lot of rabbits and stuff out that are no more up there. But then we had water holes where the Indians went and drank. There were springs, you know. They dug them out. You could drink water there when you're hunting. And one day, up on those hills, south of Lakeport, you see them if you go south of the Louis Dock, right out of town, there's this big ridge there, you know, it's bald, and there's some in Lakeport. There were some of those springs around there, and we used to walk from Mission, we'd walk, a hunting party, we would walk up the hills up there to hunt deer, you know, over there, and we'd drink water there because we know where these drinking places were. And so we didn't take any water. And I was down there, had my head in the water drinking, and here come this fish coming in. You know, fish but like a little perch, about that long, like crappie, similar to the crappie. And I never knew how the hell did they get up there. That's what it bothered me. But, so when I got back to the house that evening, I asked my grandfather. I said, I saw this little fish up. He said, we plant those. They plant those springs, we plant them in there to keep the water clean. And what they ate all the algae that grew there, and the other. And so what these bass are doing, they're eating up all those fish too. So you're having an algae problem more thicker. You know, because they keep the lake clean. You know that they would feed on that, and we call them. What we call this? Milkfish. I don't know what the white name for them were, but they lived on algae. They lived on the bugs that dropped in there. And now, we never had, when I grew up, we never had the algae problem because we swam a lot. We was in the lake all the time. You know, you can't get out there unless you wade through all that algae, you know. And when they don't know how to get rid of the algae, they think of everything. the town, this county law, you know. But here they chopping up the algae and sinking it. And I told one of those guys, I said, you know, all you're doing is you're making the mud thicker. You know, and if you wade out there now, you stick clear up to your knee and above in mud. And they, I don't know, they just, they just don't have it. What am I doing?
That's your water right there. Yep, that's your water. Yeah.
Yeah, and I found out that's what you go up to those springs, they're all around up, you know, where it's dug then years ago. And it's nice clear water, and so they put these fish in there, and the fish eat all the bugs and all the algae that go in there, keep the water clean. And I wanted to talk to these people about that. I even wanted to write to the Record B, put this all that, but I can't write that. I can't say the words that's needed to cover those issues, you know. I don't know the language, you know, that well. You know, put them together, how to make them understandable. And I still do, and I thought about, well, maybe I could print it and then read it, you know. So I went to the Record B about that. They said, get somebody to write it for you, or write it all down, but you just can't do it. They got to do it. They got to clean it up, and that's the only way they're going to do it. Go back to its natural way. And where I checked that about 3 years ago, I drove up the old road through Robertson Rancheria. You know, that road, main road used to go through the Rancheria. You know, go up before they made the freeway around it. And I took that old road out. I just wanted to see, go by, see the bridge there, and if you can drive through. They closed it on the north end of the lake. And there was these young children, older kids, you know, they were down there fishing. And I stopped just to ask them what they were fishing. And we're gigging hitch. I said, let me see what. And there wasn't hitch at all. They were what we call chai. They liked it, yeah, C-H-I. And they liked about the same size as the hitch, only they got more bony. That's why we never ate them much. We ate them in tough times when we couldn't get hitch and blackfish. And that Robinson we used to fish at night up there with these long dip nets, you know, for when the blackfish are running. The blackfish are gone out of the lake. The suckers are gone out of the creeks. The suckers used to run, the blackfish, the chapal, and one other kind of fish used to run up the lake. They don't go up there anymore. They ain't in the lake. The bass ate them all. So I said they're killing the lake. That's what they're doing. But anyway, as things come up like that, I remind you of it, and you can think about them yourselves. And of course, you don't go around the lake. Like I said, there's no more shorebirds. They're not there. In Lakeport there years ago, you go down by the park there, you used to see seagulls going by, you know, fishing. You know, they dive down and catch a fish. You don't see them anymore. I watch them, you know. I watch the pelicans and stuff. And they're not there. So, well, people have got to get used to that. What you eat? No. I know. Oh, yeah.
You want fruit too. How's that?
Pineapple.
Hi, Grace.
And there's these big fires going on. Now this is going to make you guys wonder. I was talking to a ranger here a few years ago, not 4 or 5 years ago, up at this Upper Lake Ranger Station. They were having these big fires. I told him when the Europeans came over here, this place was full of forests. He said, yep, good. You're going to tell me what we know, and we don't know how it happened. The place never burned up. We never had fire departments. We never had flying airplanes, but we just went up and burned it under control. And he said, we can't figure out how the Indian people never burned themselves out because they never had to, like we have, these forestry services, stuff. And we still don't know. What it is, in some cases, because we used to burn the chimney patches. When the chimneys start coming up, the deer come to eat up that growth. See? But I walked around all these mountains. I've been on all of the mountains. Back here, all over. They ain't a mountain here they haven't been on. When I was a youngster, I used to take my 22 and go the whole day, take my dogs, run deer around.
Is there a lot of boar, pigs?
Yeah.
Pigs up there?
Pigs, they are way back. They're not too close here. But they don't bother too much as some other things, We kill them all time. We couldn't even get it out. She big 400.
Is there a way to say, like my people? Like my people?
Yeah. Why Gauk?
Why?
Yeah. Why Gaugula Ma'e? I said, you are all my people. We are related.
Could you tell us how to spell it, like? So we have a good idea?
Well, I'm writing a thing. I'm going to give they want me to talk up here on Indian Day. They asked me already to come up to
On the 22nd.
Robertson Rancheria when they have Indian Day in the 22nd of July. I want to write about that. I'm going to read it to them.
She wants to say, she wants to write it now.
Right.
My people.
Waibakauk Gula. Now, that's hard to write. Waiba. I put down WY-GOUK period. Then GU Gula. LA. Waibakauk Gula. Then you could put down MAH in capital letter. Gumu, JUMMU, period. Gumu, EH.
What's that
You
mean?
are all my people.
You are all my people.
They used some of the things I said. I saw that thing on the paper. They brought me pamphlets or something, and it had what the word I told they asked me several years ago. They're using it now, and I feel glad of the fact that it's like that, So I'm going to try to write this out well as I can into understand it, and saying that we're all related, if not by blood, by our tribe. We're like a big family. That's what I want to imply.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I think I kind of like this gathering like this, even if we don't, we're going to have a hard time learning the language. We'll know it to some degree, and as we go along, we'll catch on. I think it's not an easy thing. It's hard because we can't spell it. I mean, we don't have an alphabet, and that would be a tough thing to do, right? Make an alphabet, but we could do something with that. Like I said, about that. Use the letter X and put a little thing on it to know that when you see that on, like you don't say use the X, you say, you know, and then it make the and it'll work out like that. But I think we'll get onto it to some degree. I ain't gonna give up. I like doing that. Okay.
Okay, hour.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for your work.